Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of La Fidanzata d'Italia podcast. Vince here. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about yesterday's game with Juventus. They took on Al Ain. We're going to talk about some transfer rumors, the next game's preview for Juve, and some more. Okay, let's get into yesterday's game where Juventus in Washington took on Al Ain. And the lineup that Igor Tudor went with was the 3-4-2-1 on paper, which if you watch the game, it transitioned to a bunch of different types of formations. And the lineup that he went with, let's get through it right now. So we had Di Gregorio starting in goal. Lloyd Kelly, Savona, and Kalulu were the three backs in the back three. Cambiaso, Thuram, McKennie, and Alberto Costa consisted on the midfield with Weston McKennie as the captain. The two behind the striker were Kenan Yildiz and Chico Conceição, and the striker was Kolo Muani. Pretty good lineup on paper, and it was interesting that he did not play Gatti from the beginning. Since this was a pretty strong lineup, it almost seemed like the lineup that he would go with in a competitive match in Serie A. Not to say that this match isn't competitive because it's the Club World Cup and there's a lot at stake here, apparently. So, granted, this is a good lineup. I liked what I saw, but let's get into the game now. So, we got into the game and it was really, really good. It was dominant performance by Juventus. As expected against a team like Al Ain, with no disrespect towards them, but this was a huge performance from Juventus. 5 goals in this game, and I think the last time they scored 5 goals in a match, or 4 goals in the first half, mind you, was in 2018, I think, if I remember correctly. And so it just goes to show you what kind of a game it was for Juve, with the scoreline being 5-0. So into the game, there was a lot of good, quick, one-touch passing, a lot of interplay between the midfield, a lot of exchanges to midfield and the wingers, and then the two behind the striker. And I really like this role that Chico Conceição is playing under Igor Tudor. So Conceição from last season under Thiago Motta, he was a traditional winger, one of those wingers where he just kind of just took on players and tried to put a cross in type of winger. So very traditional, in my opinion. And since Tudor took over in about, I think around March was it when Thiago Motta got fired, he's kind of dropped Chico for a while, and then toward the end of the season he started including him into the lineup again and trying him in different roles. And this was one of the roles that he tried him in toward the end of the season, and he kind of flourished. I think we also have to focus on Chico's mentality, right? So before Tudor was appointed and before he was dropped, there was a different kind of mentality. yes, he still tried hard and he was still prolific on that wing sometimes, but when he played in this new role for Tudor, the work rate was like so much more intense from him that I saw. He was running like crazy. I think there were some games where I saw where he actually even cramped up because of how much running he put in on the pitch. And I thought it was a good role for him to be, and it was kind of like a free role. So he kind of like roamed to the middle, then he was able to have that freedom to get outside as well. So it really benefited him. And this game, you saw it. He was all over the field. He was shifting around from the middle to the outside. So it was really good, and he ended up getting 2 goals from it. So he was really involved in a lot of the play, and he was a menace for those defenders. They couldn't cope with him. He was just having his way. It was a great night for him. And the first goal, let's get to the first goal. So we'll shift from Chico and we'll go to Randall Kolo Muani. So Kolo Muani scored his first goal 11 minutes in, Juve's first goal. And this little link-up play and the interplay was great. It was one-touch passing, and it went to Alberto Costa on the outside, who put in a one-time cross in the middle. And then Kolo Muani leapt in the air, and it almost looked like the Cristiano Ronaldo header from Sampdoria, where he just leapt so high in the air, and he put a perfect header into the top corner. it was perfect. No keeper was ever getting to it. So it was a great goal by Colomwani, great build-up play from Juventus leading up to that goal. And then you had Chico's goals. Both Chico's goals, I mean, they were a little sloppy on Alain's part, but I mean, credit to Chico for taking those goals and just, you know, he's when he has the ball, it's just like almost like on nights like last night, the ball's like stuck to his feet. You know, it's really hard to get it away from him. So and that was and it showed with the 2 goals that he scored. They're very much like that, where the ball was stuck to his feet. So I have to credit Chico for that for his performance. And Colomwani was just unstoppable too while he played. I mean, the 2 goals. I mean, even the second goal he scored right before the halftime whistle. It was beautiful. I mean, the ball from Kefren Turam was sublime too, and the way Colomwani took it in stride, and then he finished with the outside of his boot was great. It was a fantastic finish from him, and this is what I like to see from Colomwani. This is what I've expected to see since he arrived from PSG. I mean, I've said from the beginning that Colomwani, if we had him since the beginning of the season, it would have been a different season for us. I think he would have finished a lot of the chances that Vlahovic missed, and we would have even been in contention for the Serie A title if we had him the entire season. I just think he's a better striker and than Vlahovic has been this season. And, you know, but that's a whole nother topic. Now let's touch on another player, Kenan Yildiz, the 20-year-old talent, our star boy. And this is another kid, I mean, I love watching him play. I mean, he's just so tricky on the ball. And his goal was a very nice goal. I mean, he took his player on, I mean, shifted by him, and then just a nice, perfect strike into the bottom left-hand corner. And he had a very good performance, I think, too. Linked, I mean, he was involved in a lot of the play, a lot of great play from him, a lot of taking players on, shifty type of player, like I said, and it's just so fun to watch. Every time he gets the ball, you just focus on the screen, because I mean, he's just that special player. He can make things happen, so he's a game changer. So I'm so excited to see this season what he'll bring under Igor Tudor and this system, because it looks like he's thriving under this system, playing next to Conceição over there. So yeah, let's move on. So we'll go to the back 3 that was started. So a lot of people after the game, they were rating Lloyd Kelly. They said he had a decent game. I'm still not impressed with Lloyd Kelly. I mean, there were some instances where some of the players that were taking him on his left-hand side, and he looked like he would have been beaten. I mean, but they just didn't take the opportunity well. So, I mean, against a better team, he's going to be exposed. And, you know, I think he came out during the week. There was a bunch of reports saying he sees himself at Juve for a long time and all that. And I really hope that's not the case, because a week prior to that, or a few days prior to that, there were rumors that he was on the transfer market for Juve and he was going to be sold. So, I mean, I really hope the management tries to get rid of him, because he's definitely not Juve caliber. This was a Giuntoli error, like to its finest. I mean, it's really bad. I don't like seeing him on the pitch. Nicola Savona, I like him. I mean, he's traditionally a right back, but I mean, he could play center back. I think he did well tonight, given the opponent. So, I mean, I'm happy that we signed him to another long-term deal. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what the future holds for Nicola Savona, to our Italian product as well. Kalulu played, and he played the entire game along with Lloyd Kelly, and he put in a good shift. I mean, as good as you can expect from Kalulu. So, I mean, I have pretty much the same expectations that I had from him at the beginning of the season, last season. And, I mean, he's a solid defender. So, if we could sign another top defender to play alongside Bremer and possibly Gatti, because I think Gatti's a better defender than Kalulu, but we'll see how Gatti does in the start of the season, if he can hold it down. But if we can sign another top defender or two, I can see Kalulu just being dropped to the bench and just being that, just a bench player and being able to come in when we need. Let's go to the wing. Alberto Costa, 19-year-old Portuguese talent. I mean, this kid was phenomenal last night. I mean, he's been phenomenal since I've seen every game I've seen him play. I mean, given what his circumstances that he's had, and the opportunities that he was given by Thiago Motta and Tudor. So, I mean, he's just playing a lot more under Tudor. He looks confident as a 19-year-old. Like, he looks so confident on the ball. He's so settled. He's so composed. I mean, you can see he had 2 assists last night. This kid, there's so much potential. I hope Juve keep him for the long term. I can just see him becoming a star. Wes now. Let's move to the 2 center mids. Wes and Kefren Turam. Kefren Turam and Wes are 2 best midfielders of the season, hands down. And they both had really good games. I mean, Turam had that sublime assist, as I mentioned earlier, to Kolo Muani for his goal. And Wes just puts in the shift. I've been saying he's just a workhorse. I love Wes. He can do everything, every aspect of the game Wes can do. So, he's so valuable in the center of the field, I think. And I hope he stays healthy for the rest of the season, for the beginning of the next season, because he's going to be vital and important to our title run. Let's go to the left wing and Andrea Cambiaso. I thought he had a decent outing. It wasn't anything special, but I love Cambiaso. Cambiaso is another one of those players, very versatile, can do every aspect of the game as well. And he didn't play bad, but he played decent. He had a decent game, but it wasn't anything special, like I said. But I'm excited. I'm not worried about that performance. I think he's going to be a solidified starter for Tudor. And again, another Italian product, which we need to get minutes, right? He's been really good this past season. And we can tell, you know that just from Manchester City in January, trying to purchase him for around 70 million, I think was the price tag. So you can see the value that Cambiaso has and what he can bring to the team. All right, in the second half, we had some changes. So right at halftime, we had a change, and Douglas Luiz came in. And he is somebody that I want to mention. He's one of the 5 substitutions that I really want to mention because, as I said in the other podcast episode, Douglas Luiz, under the right circumstances, I feel can succeed. And he's so technical on the ball. And last night, for 45 minutes, he had an awesome outing. He looked amazing. He was so calm on the ball. They couldn't take the ball off him. He was doing little flicks and tricks, getting by these players and stuff. And the balls he was playing, he just looked so creative. And I think it's a testament to Tudor and where he played him in the role. So he took basically Locatelli's role, and Locatelli wasn't on the pitch. He didn't play at all yesterday. So Douglas Luiz was allowed to just be that number 6 and the one that drops back to receive the ball and distribute. So he benefited. And last night, maybe it was the opponent we played, but he had one of his best games in Juventus jersey for 45 minutes, I think, Douglas Luiz. And I'm excited to see the turnaround. Hopefully there's a turnaround this season, because I think he's a very, very good player. Timothy Weah came in. I think he had a decent outing. Nothing special from him either. Tunkoop Miners, same thing. I'm still not impressed with this guy. 60 million euros, and the guy contributes like little to none. It's terrible. I hope they can move him on, or I hope Tudor can get the most out of him if he doesn't get moved on. But I don't think he can start for us. I think he's just got to be a bench player until he proves that he can regain some form that he showed at Atalanta. Federico Gatti came in later in the game as well for Nico Savona, and Gatti looked. He didn't look good last night. I'm not. This was kind of worrying for me, but again, it's a preseason tournament. He's coming off injury from the last season too, where he didn't really play, and then when he was healthy, he wasn't really playing either. So maybe there's some rust that kicked in that he has to work through and everything. But he didn't have a good outing. He got a yellow card, silly yellow card, and then he lost the ball a couple times. I think there was one. I think he was the one at fault. One of the passes, scary pass back to Di Gregorio. But again, that's what you get with Gatti. As I mentioned before, he's not a ball-playing center back. He's more of a just all-around defender. So, overall, I think it was a good performance. Moving on from the player ratings, I think it was a good performance. It was a vital 3 points that we had in goal difference in our group. So we are in first place now because of that 5-0 victory. Manchester City has a 2-goal difference, +2. So we're in first place because of that. The next game we have is going to be, I think, similar to this in terms of the competition. I I think the only thing we have to worry about in the next game is going to be some of their attacking play. As I saw against Man City when they played Manchester City, it was kind of they were threatening. I mean, granted, now was that fault to Manchester City's defense? Maybe, but we'll talk about that more in the next segment of the show, where we talk about the preview for the next game. Okay, in Juventus's next match, which will take place on Sunday, they will be playing against Wydad AC, and this is the team that lost to Manchester City 2-0 the other day, and I have to say, this is another game where I expect Juventus to win comfortably. I mean, this team did give Manchester City some problems and some trouble, and if you did watch the game, you would know. If not, they did kind of have some moments where they probably should have scored a goal or two, but they missed out on those chances. And Manchester City, to be honest, they did not defend very well. So, I mean, given Juventus' track record and they're an Italian side, and Italian sides are known for their defense, I don't see that happening. I hope it doesn't happen this game. I mean, I can see us conceding a goal, but I still think we're going to win comfortably. I mean, that's the hope after this dominant performance that we just saw against Al Ain. So in this next match, I think we are going to see Manuel Locatelli. I think we will see Nico Gonzalez. I do think we might see Daniele Rugani. At least I hope we do, because I kind of want to see what he has to offer, and I would like to have an opinion as to whether or not we should keep him going ahead of next season, coming into next season. I mean, I always liked Rugani when he was at Juventus, and I know he wasn't part of Thiago Motta's plans in the beginning, so they loaned him out. But again, I'm curious because he was a defender that I think was very underrated, and he was very happy being, you know, second fiddle and third and fourth option to our center backs that we've had over the years. So I mean, I think this is somebody that you need to try to maybe keep in the squad, especially given that he's been with Juventus for so long. He knows the DNA. He's one of those experienced players that can help develop more of these younger players, right? So I mean, I would like to see him stay, but again, I want to see him play. I want to see him play the game. I want to see how he defends with this group and how he does. I mean, because he is getting older, so I'd be curious to see what happens. In the next segment of the show, we are going to be talking about some transfer rumors, Juventus' new Adidas deal that was signed, and a potential future collaboration with Juventus and a huge video game brand. Stay tuned. Okay, let's get into these transfer rumors that have been circulating for the past week here. So I do want to touch on Victor Osimhen. So there has been a bunch of reports, a bunch of rumors actually, saying that we have rekindled our interest in signing Victor Osimhen, and Comoli, our new director, is going to try to adapt and take the Bayern approach, which is buying the Serie A's top talents from the rest of the teams, kind of like what Bayern Munich does in the German league, how they poach the talent and the top players from Borussia Dortmund and Leipzig and all them. So, something similar to that. So, we don't know what's going to happen. We haven't seen any moves made on the transfer market yet, so we'll see what happens with that. But from everything that Comoli has said so far, it seems promising, but we'll have to see, because actions speak louder than words, right? So let's see what happens. But let's go back to Osimhen. So Osimhen is a striker that I think would be huge for our team. So if you can have Kolo Muani and Victor Osimhen, because I don't think Kolo Muani is going to be cheap. And if I had to pick Victor Osimhen or Kolo Muani, I'm going to take Victor Osimhen, unfortunately. So for 60 million, because at this point, you paid, I think, what was it, a 10 million loan fee, I believe it was, or something around like that for Kolo Muani in January, and now you're extending the loan, and there were talks about maybe another loan fee. So let's just say it's 20 million for a loan fee, and then in next year in the summer, because Colomwani's doing so well. I mean, I'm sure he's going to continue to do well because he's a good player unless something happens where he gets hurt. But, I mean, I think if he keeps playing, he's going to keep doing well. So his transfer value rather, I think is going to stay where it's at, where PSG value him around like 50 million or so. So potentially if you buy Colomwani next summer, it's going to cost you 70 million. So, and that's what Napoli are expecting to get for Victor Osimhen. Maybe not from us. Maybe from us, they're expecting to get 80, 85 because, they don't want to sell to rivals and whatnot. But still, I mean, that's huge in my opinion. I think Osimhen is it's a very complete all-around striker. So I would take Victor Osimhen. I mean, there's the only other striker that we're kind of linked with for a big money move like that is Gyökeres, and I am not convinced by him. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I think his price tag is too crazy. I mean, and there's so many reports surrounding him as we shift to Gyökeres about Juve being interested in him, along with Arsenal as they're another team that are heavily linked with him. So, I mean, I am not convinced by him. I think he's played in, no disrespect, but a lower level league. I watched some of his highlights. I mean, yeah, he scored some good goals, but then some of the goals he scored, not so great. So I'm kind of hesitant on spending 80 million for a striker like that. I mean, I would say if we can get him for 50 million, sure. I mean, that makes more sense given the way he performed this year. But I would let Arsenal pay the 80 and just have them take them. But then there was also reports saying that he preferred the Arsenal move anyway. I mean, so I don't want players like that. I don't want players who prefer other clubs. I think you got to get players who want to play for your club. Like Victor Osimhen has came out and said, I mean, there was a bunch of reports saying that he wanted to join Juventus. He didn't want to go to the Premier League with Manchester United. That move fell through, and Saudi offered him big money, and he turned that down because the rumor was that he's had agreed terms with Juventus, and he was just waiting for them to come to an agreement with Napoli. So we don't know, but what I do know is this Club World Cup is going to be a significant amount of revenue if the sources that I'm reading this from are correct, because if all goes well and let's say Juventus win this competition, then they could be awarded around 100 million if reports are correct, if that's the total prize for the winner of the Club World Cup. I don't know if that's the number that's getting thrown around. FIFA's involved. I'm assuming it's going to be a good chunk of change, and they're trying to make it a competitive competition, so it would make sense. So I mean, this is huge because it's a huge tournament, and this is why I'm actually excited about the 5-0 win. I'm excited that they're putting out the good lineups and everything, and I'm optimistic about it, because if that is the case and we are going to get this substantial amount of money, that is a top quality player right there that you can sign based off your performance on this tournament. So, I mean, we'll see how far they can go, but that in my opinion would be enough grounds for me to go sign Victor Osimhen from Napoli and pay him the 85 million, because at that point, I think you have to. I mean, the trying to negotiate for a lower fee is just because we probably financially couldn't do it along with signing other players. But if you can get this amount of income coming in, then why not, Let's move on from the striker rumors, and let's move on to, before we move on from the striker rumors, actually, we have to touch on Dusan Vlahovic again, because he continues to be in the news and linked, since he is our superstar striker, making the amount of money that he does make, the insane amount of money that he makes. But I won't go into detail on that like I did last week and on a tangent, so we'll just move on from that. But the only thing I will say is there were reports and rumors coming out that there is a potential swap deal on the cards for Vlahovic with AC Milan linked, and maybe Theo Hernandez coming the other way. I just want to say, if this is true, I'm going to be extremely happy. I have been an advocate for Theo Hernandez for years. I have wanted this guy in our shirt colors for so many years. I mean, we've been linked with him before in the past, and nothing's come of it. But I mean, I have been tweeting at Juventus this whole season about signing Theo Hernandez, because especially with our woes at the back, I mean, we have so many problems, and we don't have enough wing backs. Juntly selling all of our defenders and just having a bunch of center midfielders who are potentially getting hurt. I mean, again, not to go off on a tangent, but I think Theo would be huge. Theo, I think to me, it's not right and it's not justified. I think he's still a top quality left back, and I think if we get him and he plays in two-door system, I think it would be amazing. Now, I don't want to bench Alberto Costa, but I think he can give Cambiaso a run for his money, and maybe that pushes Cambiaso and Alberto Costa to really perform much better in that case, because then you have really three top quality wingers or outside backs. I'll correct myself, because Teo's better going forward, and if he plays in this wing back system that Tudor deploys, it allows the freedom to go forward. Cambiaso is good going forward. Alberto Costa, we've seen the quality he has going forward. I mean, I think it would be a phenomenal move to get Teo Hernandez. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep my eye out on that because I really want that to happen. And I've been, like I said, I've been advocate for Teo. I've been rooting for him to be signed by us. So we'll see what happens. It'd be a shame if he gets sold to a different club or go to Saudi or something. So, but I think he did turn down some Saudi moves. So I hope he stays in the league because it'd be good. Let's move on from the center forward talk and let's go towards the next rumor that I am reading and hearing about, but I think that was put to bed earlier today. But there were so many rumors circling around Paulo Dybala saying that he had a 12 million clause. I think it's valid until July, the rumors were reporting, or something like that. And there were reports that he got a phone call from us and he was just so optimistic and everything changed type of thing. And then they went on his Instagram and he took Roma off of his profile. So I mean, there were so many rumors circulating around that. And again, it's something to keep an eye on because Dybala never got the proper send off. I don't think that he should have. I mean, yeah, there was that moment where the end of the game, this last game at the home where he was crying and everything. We had to console him, but I think the way he left and the way we got rid of him was not right. I don't think it was right. So I mean, if we can get Dybala back, just because he is a special player. I mean, yeah, is he going to play every game? No. I mean, we know he has injury problems, but the games that he does play, we know he's going to be a difference maker. I mean, we've seen it year in and year out. We've seen it for Roma last season, and he is still claiming that he has a lot to give. So this wouldn't be something I'm opposed to. I think I would actually maybe potentially, look into this if this were true. If I'm Comoli and the Juventus board and everything, and whoever's involved in the transfers now, I think this is something I would look into because it would be a good option to he can fill in this two-door system. You got the two playing behind the striker. So, I mean, he could be an option to play there. I think it would be a great addition. He has the creativity, which we often have been lacking. So, I think it would be great. And I don't think he's going to get more than $7 million a season. I mean, I don't think he's hitting that right now at Roma. So, I mean, and that was like the whole thing of why he left, and but that was years ago. So again, I won't get into that, but so that's something I would love to see. Now let's move on from Dybala, and the next room I want to talk about is a swap deal between Rugani and the West Ham defender. Now forgive me if I mispronounce his name. Agward, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but there's been rumors that I've seen, and they've been like kind of heating up lately for this little potential swap deal between the two defenders. I don't know enough about this kid to know if I like it or not. I did say before, I mentioned how I like Rugani, so I kind of would be opposed to this unless this kid is some kind of crazy, talent that we don't know about or something like that. But again, that's the latest rumor. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but we'll keep an eye on that again for sure because we do need defensive reinforcements. And the last rumor that I'm going to bring up in this podcast, which I would like to see happen, and I was kind of hoping it was true back in January, was the signing of Ronald Araujo from Barcelona. So I think when he shut the rumors down back in January, because in January, he was close to joining for a lot of reports, and then finally, the manager pretty much, convinced him to stay at Barcelona, and he stayed, and they gave him the captain's armband, and he was convinced on how he's an important player to the project. But now there's another rumor that I just read, a couple of them actually, on social media, where they're saying that this Araujo deal is back on the cards. So I mean, that's something to keep an eye on for sure, because he is a top defender, I think, and he's still in his prime age. So I mean, that would be a perfect center back pairing, I think, to go along with Bremer and either Gatti, or if we can sign Leone as well. I mean, that would be amazing. So, but yeah. So those are the transfer rumors that I have from the past week that I think are worth mentioning. Next, I want to get into the Adidas deal. This will be quick, but I just want to touch on it. Adidas and Juventus have signed a new deal through 2037 for 408 million euros, roughly. So this is going to guarantee them, X amount of dollars every year. You could do the math, you could divide it. I haven't done it, but I mean, it's a good chunk of change. I think it's a little bit around like 10 million euro less than their deal was now, if I remember what I read. But again, it solidifies, Adidas' future and Juventus' future together. So, and I think it's a good deal. Adidas is a very, very big brand, a big sporting brand, very big with soccer. So I think that's a good move. And the last thing I want to touch on this podcast is the collaboration between Juventus and Fortnite. This is a rumor that I just read tonight, and it just surfaced. And if reports are to be true, there's going to be a collaboration between Juventus and Fortnite. I don't know what that's going to entail, but I mean, that'll be something to keep an eye on, seeing how popular Fortnite is and has been. So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I'll let you know more as I find out. And with that is going to do it for the latest episode of La Fidanzata d'Italia podcast. Again, I'm Vince here, and next week, join me on Friday. That will be the day I release the podcast episode, because Thursday we will be playing against Manchester City. So on Friday, I will break down both games, which will happen this Sunday and on Thursday. So join me next week on Friday for the next episode and whatever transpires in the world of Juventus. Until next time, fino alla fine, forza Juve.